bringing you the latest news from Lubbock High Athletics. This is the Westerner Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back into the high school fan zone on a Monday night. We're going to transition. We're sticking to baseball. We're going to transition to the Westerner fan zone. And I'm going to rub some salt in here a little bit. I don't mean to. We're not going to be talking about playoffs because Lubbock High's bid came a little bit short. But that's why I mentioned to Mark Giannis, your former boss at Estacado, Victor. That's why I wanted you guys to come in tonight, because I think you guys had a great season. I know everybody wants to get to the playoffs. Everybody wants to keep playing and chase gold balls and all that. Joe's not going to get a chance to do that senior year. But I bet a year from now we're talking about you guys getting into the playoffs and breaking that, what would be then
a long drought. I'm hoping so. I feel like we left a lot out on the table this year that we cut ourselves short, but that's how it goes sometimes. So unfortunately, we didn't get to make the playoffs. We did have a better season, but it's not where we want it to be, for sure. Went
into the last 2 weeks in the hunt.
Yes, sir.
Which is much different than your first 2 years and the last several years. So there's progress made. And this young man, Joe Rosendo, for those who don't know, Victor Gomez is on my far left. Joe Rosendo's in the middle, a dude who was with you for 3 years.
Yes,
started
sir.
As a freshman with Coach
Bobby. Yes, sir.
Yep. And has been prominent in the football program. We're going to talk a little bit about football here in a second. Joe, like I said, you guys didn't get where you wanted to, but what is the sense of pride for what you guys did accomplish this year after the struggle of the last couple of years?
I take great pride in what our team has done. It was like you said, it was a real struggle the past 3 years. Starting as a freshman, I had high expectations for myself, and it was kind of hard adjusting. But over the years, I grew up playing with a lot of the guys I got to play with this year, and so we kept our nose down, we kept working, and we made a great run this year. So,
in the last game's a perfect example of that. You lost to a Plainview team that's going to the playoffs. That until I think last year they got in as well with Coach Gilliland, but they've been through a little bit of a drought. So you can kind of see
they've actually been in the playoffs for each year, because I think they were in a 6-team district before.
Yes, they were in the district up north. That was the Tascosa coach told Brad Bibb this the other day that I don't think those teams enjoyed this district coming down to this district.
Yeah. It's a little different. But yeah, they got us Saturday. They had 2 runs that they should have been 0. We dropped the ball at home plate. After we walked 2, they hit a ball, sacrifice fly. We had them thrown that at home, and we just got in between hop and dropped it. And then another one, they scored another sacrifice fly. I think it was a kid lit off with a double, questionable, fair or foul. It was tough. It was tough. We watched it a few times on video, and Joe swears it was foul. So
it was definitely foul, Coach.
He's got much younger eyes than you or me.
Yeah. So and then they scored on a sacrifice fly. The kid was on second, and he got to third with 1 out on a pass ball, and then he scored on the tag up. So it was 2-1. But we also had bases loaded with no outs, and we didn't score a run. And it happened a couple times that we left guy with less than 2 outs on third. So they beat us, but we left a lot out there, like we've kind of been doing that to ourselves this season.
You guys had been eliminated the night before, or earlier in the week.
Yes, sir. Tuesday.
What's it tell you about your guys that they came out and played that way against a team that's playoff bound, that they were still playing for something too, because they needed to win to make sure Tascosa didn't catch them? So there has to have been some pride from your guys to play that way.
Yes, and one thing we preach all the time is not to quit. No matter what's going on, play for each other, play because it's the right thing you need to do. It's not fair to come out there and just give up, and show up to practice even after we lost, and show up to the game. And today I think we had almost everyone show up today. All the seniors showed up. So it's good to see that. Those guys came out and competed. Joe threw a great game. I think he threw 6 innings, and then we finished with Josiah on the mound. But they came out and battled, and to end the game was a line drive that Joe hit. We had a guy on first, and he smoked one, but the guy was holding on first, came right off, and line drive right at him. If not, it probably rolls down the line.
Baseball gods don't have a sense of humor sometimes.
No, it happened.
And there were some other games along the way that, if you take care of business, the Tuesday game against Plainview, if you hold on to the lead there, it makes Saturday a much different the stakes are a lot different.
Yes, and it was tough because we planned on Ivan and Joe that day, and Ivan came into I think it was the sixth inning. He was like at 70-some pitches, so we hadn't even got Joe loose at all. So had we got him loose, I think we would have been able to bring him out a little sooner, and it was kind of tough that we didn't.
The Westerners, their season's done. Finished 16-13-1. One thing I think that is a great building block is you won 11 games in a row in one stretch.
Yes, sir.
And that was going into district, got you off to the strong start in district. Didn't finish the way they wanted, but I feel like I'm not blowing smoke. I feel like a year from now we're sitting here talking about Lubbock High getting back to the playoffs. So we're going to talk a little bit more about Lubbock High baseball, but I want to talk about Lubbock High football and something Joe's got going on later this week when we come back in the Westerner Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Diving headfirst into Lubbock High athletics, you're listening to the Westerner Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back to the Westerner Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I want to jump into this, and I'm going to make sure I get this title right. Chris Lovell, you got to make this easier for me to spit out here. So Joe Rosendo is one of the recipients, one of the scholarship recipients, which is he's not just getting the money because they want to give out money. He's giving the money. He's getting a scholarship because this is a good kid who did a lot of good things academically and is a good citizen. It's going to take me a while to get through this. On Wednesday night, he will be honored along with several other local athletes at the Texas Tech chapter of the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame Scholar Athlete Banquet and Awards Program. I need a break after that. It's a big deal. Max Cotwinkle came on last week and talked about it. He's very involved in this. Joe, when they reached out to you and told you were receiving the scholarship, what did that mean to you?
I was very grateful when Coach Rod told me, because he was the one that let me know that he nominated me and I had officially been selected for it. I mean, I was very grateful. It's just one of those things. As far as the grades go, that's been one of my key concerns, because my parents have always preached to me, it's student before athletes, it's student-athlete life. So it's always been really try to get straight A's as much as I can and just stay on top of my grades before anything else.
So you may have told you this in football season. Coach knows this. My daughter goes to Lubbock High. She's a junior. And she came home and told me about her GPA, which I didn't know GPAs.
They break it down to every single.
And what you guys do at Lubbock High, and every school has its academic strengths and weaknesses, but what you guys do at Lubbock High, first of all, just to stay eligible, is incredible. Victor, you came from Estacado, which has the college prep program.
College program, yes.
Now, you're not as old as I am, but I'm going to guess, and don't take this wrong, you're probably a little bit like me in high school. Do your work, go play, get it.
I graduated 7th in my class.
There you go.
I was pretty good.
There you go. We're at Estacado.
At Estacado. 7th at Lubbock High is like, I think Joe's, what's your GPA?
On a weighted scale, it's like a 4.4, unweighted around a 3,
and he's probably
anywhere
like
3.5, 3.7.
Class.
And see, those numbers.
That's crazy.
That came out wrong. I know Victor's a smart dude.
It's a whole different. But
this world we live in now, high school kids I'm probably scaring younger brother over there. He's in 8th grade, going, "Man, what am I getting into over here?" But Joe, and I told Max the other night when he was the list of kids. I mean, I enjoy covering kids playing sports. That's what I do. But to see kids on this list, what you guys do to grind and get through 4 years.
And they miss a lot of school.
Yes.
They miss a lot of school, especially during baseball season.
Yep.
Those guys miss, a good 10 to 12 days, I bet, of school, which is a lot, when you're looking at 9 weeks and everything. And, we leave and, I expect them to do their work. And it's hard, I know. But, that's part of being a student athlete.
This is a guy that you can use as an example that Kid Brothers got as an example. Joe, that's some pressure. That's it, there's pressure going out to throwing strikes and trying to hit a baseball, but getting through high school like that, how much hard work has it taken?
It's very stressful. It's very heavy to try and do that. A lot of the times it's staying up late to make sure you get your work done or doing your work when you do go out of town. Coach, I think you underestimated it. We missed, 6 days before our season actually really started as far as district went. just from us traveling.
Yeah.
And that was just the first 2 tournaments, not even including, the scrimmages and stuff like that. So, no, it's a lot just to make sure. I mean, a lot of the guys, we took our Chromebooks, we took our paperwork, just stuff like that. If not, we finished it before we left just so we could stay on top of our grades. I mean, we didn't lose. I don't think we lost anybody at the varsity level to eligibility, so it was really good this year.
And I know when Coach Wanrod got here, that was a big deal to him to make sure in each sport that became the standard rather than
we had, our guys for the most part, it was 100% other than maybe a couple weighted classes that we did. But, I mean, we took care of business in the classroom. It took a while. Sometimes took a little bit of extra running to get there, but we got there and we passed our classes, which was big.
Joe, we're coming up at the end here. I'll let you kind of talk about the legacy you want to leave behind because you're passing the torch to a lot of kids, including younger brother over there.
As far as my legacy goes, it would have been nice to get this last little playoff stretch my last year. But as far as just me leaving, just keep your nose down, keep working. At the beginning, it may not always start where you want it to start, but hard work gets you a long way. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
I got through high school and I was able to read the name of that thing, which I'm pretty proud of, just to be able to say that. We're going to wrap up on the Westerner Fan Zone, come back after the break in the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.